Welcome to NYNJPA Weather, your weather source for the Northern Mid-Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Our surface map as of 10 a.m. shows a warm front slowly moving north through the Northern Mid-Atlantic, finally passing the New York City metropolitan area. We did have some locally dense fog throughout the New York City metropolitan area, especially around the Long Island Sound where visibility fell below 1 mile. However, over the Philadelphia metropolitan area and over much of New Jersey, skies cleared out rather nicely for the morning hours, and temperatures have been rising ever since, as temperatures are already in the lower to mid 70s over portions of southern New Jersey. With this warm front moving to the north, we can expect the entire northern Mid-Atlantic to have excellent weather conditions this afternoon, with temperatures well above normal in the 70s and 80s. But is there a threat for severe weather? Well, it doesn't look like it, and I'm going to show you why. This map is from the Penn State E-Wall, and it is the observations at 8 a.m. or 12Z of 500 millibars. Now you see all this red shading over the upper Midwest down through the Mississippi River Valley. That is strong lifting associated with a very powerful upper level low. Unfortunately, many locations around the southern Mississippi River Valley up through the Ohio Valley will be under the threat for strong to severe thunderstorms with the possibility of some significant tornado damage. However, as we move towards the East Coast and specifically towards the northern Mid-Atlantic, notice that there are some blue shading around the area, and that means sinking air, and we are also under the influence of an upper level ridge. Notice how there's this little kink that sets up off the New Jersey coast and moves back towards the eastern Great Lakes. This is the result of a counterbalance to all of this rising air over the upper Midwest. There has to be sinking air to the east. And as a result, we're under the benefit of that sinking air, which will produce not only clear skies, but also warm temperatures. And as we transition to the water vapor as of 10 a.m., we can clearly see that interaction developing. Notice the black and red shading that is developing over the New Jersey coast. This is an indication on the water vapor satellite picture of dry sinking air, the result of a counterbalance of this lifting that's developing over the Mississippi River Valley. Notice all the convection developing around Louisiana, Mississippi, up towards Tennessee. This is where all the severe weather is going to be today, and as a direct counterbalance to all that rising air, you have sinking air along the East Coast. So overall, this afternoon is going to be rather pleasant with temperatures in the 70s and 80s. And I would not be surprised if a few locations reach the mid 80s as this sinking air intensifies. This, of course, means that the potential for thunderstorms is going to be rather limited. I can't completely rule out an isolated shower or thunderstorm in this warm, unstable air mass. However, any type of severe thunderstorm will be well to the west of the northern Mid-Atlantic. Our visible satellite picture as of 10 a.m. also shows clearing skies throughout the entire northern Mid-Atlantic. Connecticut's holding in there with the fog, but that will burn off as we move towards noon. Now, if you're right along the New Jersey coast and right along Long Island, expect some low clouds to redevelop as this warm air interacts with the marine air mass over the Atlantic Ocean. Much like what we saw yesterday, low clouds will hang on and then redevelop and try to build in towards the coastal plain as we move towards this evening as temperatures naturally start to cool. Those low clouds will break up as the interaction between that warm air mass and the cool air mass over the ocean starts to break down. So if you're along the immediate coast or if you're planning on going to the beach because it's so beautiful out, do not be surprised if you end up with some cloudy skies as you're right along the New Jersey coast. However, 5 miles inland, skies will be beautiful with clear skies, of course, and temperatures in the 80s. A perfect day to do your outdoor activities. And with many schools closed for the spring break / Easter holidays, whatever you like to call it, it's going to be a perfect time to kick the kids out of the house, get them away from the video games, and go play some baseball or football or whatnot. This is the 500 millibar forecast for tomorrow afternoon from the European Model Guidance through the Penn State E-Wall website. And notice again that all of the strong lifting is again well to the west of the northern Mid-Atlantic for tomorrow afternoon. The strongest lifting has shifted a little bit more to the northeast towards the Tennessee River Valley, where some significant severe weather will unfold, unfortunately. However, notice the purple and blue shading that is setting up along the East Coast. This is again a counterbalance to all the rising air that's developing over the Tennessee River Valley. This will produce yet another pleasant day for the northern Mid-Atlantic. Again, I can't rule out an isolated shower or thunderstorm, especially as we move towards the evening hours, but for the most part, we can expect tranquil weather conditions with warm temperatures throughout the region, basically a repeat of what we saw today. Watch out for some low clouds and fog tomorrow morning along the immediate coast, but then skies clear and a very, very comfortable and pleasant day will unfold. And at the surface tomorrow afternoon, you can also see our cold front well to the west, the warm front well to the north. We are well within what's called the warm sector, and with a slight ridge at the mid-levels setting up over the northern Mid-Atlantic, I'm expecting a very pleasant day with clear skies, and temperatures are likely going to reach 85 degrees in portions of the Delaware River Valley. By Thursday evening, I'm expecting the cold front to finally move through the northern Mid-Atlantic. But I wanted to point something out at 500 millibars. Notice the slightly more red shading that is focused more towards the St. Lawrence River Valley in northern New England. This means that the best lifting and dynamics are again focused to the north of the northern Mid-Atlantic as these cold fronts approach. And of course, we have very unstable warm air setting up over the southern Mid-Atlantic. So once again, the northern Mid-Atlantic will be in between two very strong lifting mechanisms, one that's mesoscale or small scale, and another that's synoptic or large scale. So while there is a potential for strong to severe thunderstorms with the cold front passage on Thursday afternoon, it looks like once again that the region is going to be in between those lifting properties, and as a result, that might limit the potential for severe weather. The best potential for severe weather is clearly going to be on Thursday afternoon. But I'm not convinced that there's going to definitely be severe thunderstorms on Thursday afternoon because of this factor. At the surface, you can see our cold front moving through. Now, I'm expecting the severe thunderstorms to possibly develop between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. on Thursday afternoon. The best potential will be over eastern Pennsylvania and western New Jersey, or basically the Delaware River Valley, because these locations will have the best chance to reach unstable levels in the atmosphere and will not have any influence from the marine layer that will set up along the immediate coast. As these thunderstorms approach the East Coast, specifically the New Jersey coast and the immediate New York City metropolitan area, the thunderstorms will become elevated and more likely to produce very heavy rainfall and strong wind gusts. Now, the one aspect with this situation that I'm really concerned about is the threat for flash flooding. The rivers are already stressed as they are. Some of them are already flooding due to the heavy rainfall from previous events. So any type of additional rainfall will create a potential for flash flooding and without much notice. So just use caution and be prepared for that aspect by Thursday afternoon. After that cold front exits, high pressure will be in control. Now, there is one aspect we're going to keep an eye on going forward, and that would be this area low pressure off the East Coast that may produce a backdoor cold front that cause some clouds and a little bit of rainfall possible on Sunday. For right now, I'm keeping the weather pattern dry for this weekend and comfortable with temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Overall, not a bad weekend at all, but we're going to have to keep an eye on that backdoor cold front. Typically, these fronts like to stall over New England, but they can reach the northern Mid-Atlantic. Otherwise, look for an excellent weekend. Thank you for trusting in NYNJPA weather as your weather source for the northern Mid-Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Have an excellent day.